Apart from Liz Truss, who's now Foreign Secretary, there's one more government minister who's just getting things done, and he manages to rattle all the right people. That's Lord Frost. Now, David Frost, who's in charge of the post-Brexit Britain, has been very consistent. The European Union don't like him. Now the international stage and the international community in general, they are keeping their eyes on him because all the reforms that he's now going to be announcing is going to essentially make Britain great again. Firstly, the EU are not really happy about these post-Brexit negotiations when it comes to the Northern Ireland Protocol. France and Germany are having a meltdown. We know that's not going to end well for the European side. And the biggest issue that they now have is that David Frost has announced that he wants to make Britain not fully Singapore on Thames, but a very, very competitive environment for business and social reforms. He's come out to say that from rules on data storage to the ability of businesses to develop new green technologies, overbearing regulations were often conceived and agreed in Brussels with little consideration of the UK national interests. We now have the opportunity to do things differently and ensure that Brexit freedoms are used to help businesses and citizens get on and succeed. Today's announcement is just the beginning. The government will go further and faster to create a competitive, high standards regulatory environment which supports innovation and growth across the UK as we build back better from the pandemic. Now, try to ignore the last bit because that's just this weird globalist slogan that they've come up with, and all these governments have to keep going with. The World Economic Forum are obsessed with this new centralization of ideas. Ignore that bit because, of course, Downing Street had to tell David Frost to include the Build Back Better slogan in it. But if you focus on the ideas that he has, this is actually not centralization of the policies, this is decentralization. So the area to focus on is modernizing the economy, is supporting research and development, and reducing bureaucratic interference. So this is actually quite good. Considering yesterday, the European side, especially the French, again, were completely outraged. Why? Because three strong allies who are not in the European Union are getting on and trying to actually have a good cooperation. UK, US, and Australia have come up with this new defense pact and defense deal. The reason the French and Macron are not happy is because Australia promised France to work with them. And there's a reason that Australia decided to go with the UK and the US. It's not just the Anglosphere culture. It's also because if you want to deal with France, you have to deal with Brussels. And Australia are not happy about that. So this is exactly why Lord Frost is the right person for this job. You need to trust him. And again, there will be mistakes. You know, there will be at times when the department, cabinet office will disappoint us. But that's not the point of it. Government and politicians are not perfect. I'm not even pro the government policies that come from Downing Street these days. I'm very, very critical, as you know. But the idea is to focus on making Britain great again. Now, if you enjoyed that content and you like this channel, then feel free to support us and support independent media movement against the complacency of the mainstream media by going on maya2c.co.uk. You can join us and watch all the daily shows and podcasts that we have at 6 p.m.